there for everybody to experience.
I was kind of looking forward to it, but whatever, that's okay. Well, we will call the meeting to order at 6:36 p.m. Thank you for everybody's staff for that. That was great. It worked out really well for our first virtual Christmas tree lighting. If we would all stand, I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So everybody stand and put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Russi.
Councilmember Davis.
Present.
Councilmember Crosby.
Present.
Councilmember Lau.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Carter.
Present.
Mayor Hepburn.
Present. Announcements and upcoming events. I just want to make a real quick announcement that there was some concern that some resident had made regarding that if they weren't people weren't available for the special study session on district voting, that if you have a comment or anything, please email the city hall, the city clerk, and then we'll put you on there. So please, Mr. Russi, is there anything? Pardon?
Put in your number and we will
put in
call
your phone number. Yes, please put in your phone number, email the city clerk so that you can talk in under public comment. Thank you.
And that is cityclerk at cityoflaverne.org.
Great. Any other announcements or upcoming events, Mr. Russi, that we know of?
I think we do have an announcement. Is that correct, JR?
We do. We have Sherry Best. Hold on 1 second. I'll see if I still have her. Hi, Sherry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, you're live with the City Council. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Sherry Beth, representative of the Laverne Historical Society. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
I want to remind people that you can shop Laverne by buying one of the books recently published by the Laverne Historical Society, or by buying a t-shirt or a jar of jelly or marmalade. This is a great way to shop Laverne, support your local historical society. We're unable to follow through with the in-person book signing, but I'd like you to know that our takeout and delivery service for our books, our t-shirts, and our homemade jams and jellies and marmalade are going strong. So please contact me at area code 909-596-4679 or email me at sbest@lavernehistoricalsociety.org to place your holiday order. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bess. Any other announcements or comments for community events?
I do not think so.
None received, sir.
And we'll move on to a consent calendar. Has anything been pulled from the consent calendar?
No.
Then I would go for, I need a motion to accept the, to approve this consent
I'll
calendar.
make the motion to accept
Councilmember Carter?
the calendar.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
Councilmember Lau, second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Aye. All those
Aye.
opposed? None opposed? Okay. We
I'm a
will,
left-handed person, so I always raise my left.
we will go to public comments. Before that, we go to public comments. With Governor Newsom's latest, basically shutdown, I just wanted to just give a little update, just a little announcement here. Since Governor Gavin Newsom's announcement earlier this week about stricter stay-at-home orders and the changes in some business activities, many people are asking how we'll be handling the enforcement. As has been the case throughout this evolving situation, we will continue to educate our community of the health orders, encourage compliance, and will make use of the county health department as circumstances warrant. Additionally, the City of Laverne remains committed to supporting our local businesses. If you are a Laverne business owner, remember, you can still apply for the city's Business Assistance Grant Program. Starting this week, the city will increase the grant limit from $2,500 to $5,000. Like you, we are extremely disappointed by this turn of events, but remain confident that we can pull together to slow the spread of COVID-19. We've done it before and we can do it again. Remember, you can keep yourself and others safe by limiting your out-of-home activities, wearing a face covering, practicing physical distancing, and frequently washing your hands. Also, let's help Laverne businesses by shopping local this holiday season. Please, you must shop Laverne. Buy your gas, buy your groceries, buy your apparel, buy your food. We need to keep our businesses alive. Thank you, everybody. We'll move to public comments and communications. Mr. Russi or JR?
Mr. Mayor, we do have some public comment tonight. Let me go ahead and bring up the first person.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you are live with the council. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Mr. Wilson.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is John Wilson. I've been a resident of Laverne for 25 years or more. And my comment tonight has to do with the skate park that is close to Veneta High School. The issue that I have is every day I keep seeing several kids there, up to 20, 30 kids, no mask, congregating, unprotected. And just earlier tonight, and listening to everybody's comments when they were talking about lighting the Christmas tree, being safe, keeping Laverne safe, I just personally don't think that that's doing justice to keeping Laverne safe. I don't know who runs that skate park. I don't know if it's Veneta Unified or if it's the city of Laverne. And on several occasions, I have seen Laverne PD in the parking lot there at Veneta High. Now, I do know it's not up to them to enforce anything. But I think if we take a look at the whole city of Laverne and how we're trying to work together and make sure that we all work together to keep COVID away from us and to keep in line with what's going on. And yes, a lot of us don't want to wear masks, and a lot of us don't want to do what we need to do, but we do need to do it and do our part. So I think you as the council members need to be made aware of what's going on there, and if there's anything that the city can do to either monitor the situation and make these kids wear masks, or monitor how many kids are in the park at one time. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and I know several of you probably drive by there all the time. I usually drive by there once or twice a day myself. But that is my comment tonight, and I do appreciate everything that the city council is doing to keep our residents safe. I love the fact of what we did with the restaurants out there on D Street when we could have them open. I love the fact that we're doing everything we can to keep businesses viable, and hopefully they'll be around when this is all over. I really do like that. But this is one thing where I really and truly feel that we have fallen short on as a city. And so I believe that it needs to be brought to your attention. And if anything can be done, or if any of you can look into it, I would certainly appreciate it. Once again, thank you for your time, and thank you for the job that you're doing now during this crucial time that we're in. It's unprecedented for us, I know, and you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Bassler, are you there?
Yes.
Mr. Bassler, you're live with the council. Go ahead.
Okay. One of the things that the council's been evaluating doing is going county with fire. And my comment has to do with COVID. If we are looking at going county with fire, why don't we just go county with the entire city? And the reason I say that is if the city is not going to stand up for its residents and businesses, then we're not getting what we're paying for. That is the main purpose of the council, of the city, and just stamping the orders from the county and the orders from Newsom is not going to do anything helpful here in our city. All it's doing is killing our businesses. I am not suggesting that COVID's a good thing. I've had friends that have gotten over it. I currently have friends that have it. But the cure that the government is trying to influence on our city is worse than the cure that they're trying to, is worse than the virus itself. And we need to be acting more like the sheriff of Riverside, who's saying, no, I'm not going to enforce these. We've got the city of Pasadena. They've got a health department down the street. We can talk to them about joining theirs and not having to close our businesses. We could talk to the rest of the San Gabriel Valley, which is all similar cities relative to the area, as opposed to downtown LA, where these orders are coming from, and up in Sacramento, where obviously our governor does not care. We need to be standing up for our city or our businesses and let them open despite these orders. All it's going to do is handicap our city from ever being financially sound. It's doing harm to the kids that are not able to go to school. It's doing harm to everybody. We've never quarantined the healthy in the past. This virus has a 95.5% survival rate for under 65. It's got a survival rate for 18 to 29 of zero, or a fatality rate rather, of 0 and then 4 zeros, and 2 for females and 3 for males. It's not hurting the people that are getting it that are young. This is something that goes after the people that are old. And a lot of the people that we need to be protecting are those in healthcare facilities, senior care facilities, but we need to let our businesses do what they do. And I would encourage you guys to change the policy despite what the county is saying and what our governor is saying. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Bessler.
Mr. Mayor, just give me one moment. I've got one other caller I need to dial. Please hold on. Mr. Mayor, I have Terry Prentice on the line. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Prentice.
Good evening, council members, Mr. Rusty. After a critical review of the fire study by Messina and Associates, what was not detailed in the report is the huge unresolved financial problem of uncontrolled overtime of LA County Fire. This uncontrolled financial issue has been reported by both the major newspapers in Los Angeles, the LA Times and LA Daily News, for the past 2 decades. Recent articles in these newspapers have pegged the overtime for the past several years at LA County Fire in excess of $200 million annually. This overtime issue has compromised the LA County Fire budget for a number of years, as they have had to forego establishing a capital replacement fund to replace outdated and obsolete equipment due to the obligation to cover overtime pay. The fire study by Messina does document County Fire having no capital replacement fund. The problem is evidenced by a $1.3 billion bond issue was presented to county voters last March to replace fire equipment that was outdated by over 20 years. That bond issue was defeated by the voters. Further, the County Board of Supervisors has over the past 5 years increased the amount of property tax revenue to LA County Fire by 30%. Any organization does not have in place a structured capital replacement fund has in effect placed a sunset clause on their operation. The result is having fire apparatus that is decades old, reducing their effectiveness and reliability and the ability to respond to disasters. The current operational plan by LA County Fire is not sustainable in the long term. This begs the question, is where is LA County Fire going to get the money to pay for the much needed equipment upgrades? Contract cities is the most logical source because those cities have no other alternative. Once they commit all their firefighting resources to LA County Fire, they cannot afford to go back and start all over. The contract proposal from LA County Fire is not good for Laverne from a financial perspective. They start with the first year of the contract just below what the city budget for the current year with very little investment from the county. Then for the next 4 years, they have an annual increase capped at 5.5% each year. This is over 3 times the average U.S. inflation rate for the past decade, which is 1.77%. Then in the 6th year and subsequent years, the increases would be the average of the previous 4 years plus an additional 1%. This increasing level of cost cannot be sustained without compromising other city departments lowering the level of service to our citizens. Ask yourselves, why would our city leaders throw us into this pending quagmire of financial disaster? Sure, there are problems currently in our fire department, but booting the problem over the county does not resolve the problem. It merely postpones the initial problem and creates a much larger problem for the future. Kicking the can down the road is a plan, but it's a horrible plan, both from an operational and a financial perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prentice.
Thank you. I'm refreshing to see if we have any other last-minute speakers, Mr. Mayor. I don't see any.
Okay, we'll wait a minute. No one else, JR?
None received, Mr. Mayor.
We will go ahead and close public comment, and we'll come back to council comments and conference meeting reports. Who would like to start tonight? Mr. Rusty, do we have any reports from you tonight? No. Council comments, who would like to start? Would be Mr. Crosby. Councilmember Crosby, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And we are in very trying times right now with the cases of COVID going up, closures of our restaurants. I do agree that not necessarily that closures of restaurants is what the cause has been. What I see is the causes has been with people at home and bringing people around, and we just need to make sure maintain safety so we can get through this and we can get back to our in-dine restaurants. I hopefully that everybody's safe. I believe every life is a valuable piece, and that we need to precious every life that we can. So please stay safe and take care of the ones especially around you, and look after your neighbors. Thank you, and shop Laverne.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. Councilmember Carter?
Yes. When we have an employee when we have an employee leave our city, it's always a sad time. But I just wanted to say that Bill Aguirre will be leaving at the end of the month, but I'm with Tri-City Mental Health. Next Wednesday, we will be honoring Bill Aguirre for the many, many years of service that he has given to Tri-City. I'm not sure how many of you know out there, but Bill, who is our community services director, he comes to every single meeting we've had over, I think it's been over 15, 20 years that he has been the representative. And his input has been valuable. He's worked with our navigation system that works with our police department, with our homeless. So it's a big group of people involved. But Bill has been such a valuable contributor to Tri-City. And so I just wanted to bring that out so everyone knew. And next week, we will be honoring him from Tri-City Mental Health. Unfortunately, it's on Zoom. We can't do it personally and in public. That's why I wanted to tell you now. If you get a chance, stop by his office after next Wednesday and see what we are giving him to thank him for his years of service. The other item I wanted to talk about, as we go into this next 3-week lockdown, minimum 3 weeks, I just wanted to make sure people realize beyond all the first responders and the wonderful jobs they have done, and our nurses, doctors, hospital, police, I wanted to give credit to the grocery stores. You know, they have been there for us. The cashiers, we all know the cashiers in our city, and they have been dedicated to each and every one of us daily to be there at work. The box boys, the stockers, the meat department, all of them, and the truck drivers, you even think of them still working for all of us. And so next time, I would like, with the good wishes of the season, I would love for people just to say thank you to all the cashiers, anyone you see in the grocery stores, even if they're, just stocking the shelves, just say thank you and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you feel best doing, but give them a, thank you. They will love that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Carter. Councilmember Davis.
Thank you. Oh, I'm not on mute. Okay, good. Thank you, Mayor. So the Cultural Awareness and Social Inclusion Committee met the first Wednesday of the month. We had a very good meeting dealing with implicit bias, and that was a healthy discussion around that. PVT, the Pomona Valley Transportation Authority met we're going every other month now and reviewing the budget, and I got to meet with or participate with Bill Aguirre, who's retiring. He's not really leaving the city. He's just retiring from the city. The way Councilmember Carter made it sound like he was ditching us and going somewhere else, but he is leaving. So it's a sad time, and so wishing Bill well. I too agree that this 1 in 100-year pandemic is a real bummer, and it's causing a huge amount of strain. If you want to spend some productive energy, reach out to the federal representatives, our senators and congressional representatives, and encourage them to approve a CARES Act so we can get funds into the residents' hands that need it. We need additional support for our community in that sense. And I'll wish other holidays later because we have one more meeting before Christmas. So I will say happy early Hanukkah, which begins this Thursday. Season's greetings.
Thank you, Councilmember Davis. Councilmember Lau.
Thank you. I just wanted to, remind everybody that, this is a weird time for everyone. No one has gone through a pandemic before. Everybody's navigating it the way that they can see how for their own families, for their own households. And we may not always agree on everything that's going on. And that's okay. But I would just ask, as I've asked in the past, that we all extend each other and ourselves some grace and some kindness, and not be so quick to make judgments about why people are making the choices that they're making, and to be respectful of those people's choices, because you don't know what shoe, you haven't walked a mile in their shoes and you don't know what's going on. And so, to try to extend that to each other, I think would be very important in this time, more so than others. I think that, the holidays are very difficult for many people in a normal year. And so any kindness that you can extend to your neighbors, your family, your friends is probably more crucial now than ever before. So I encourage you to take that time to reach out. I've seen some wonderful stories lately, across social media about neighbors helping each other out. And I think if we can all, recall that and let that warm our hearts, even in this difficult time, I think that would be a great thing for all of us to do. So, we do have another city council meeting before the end of the year. So I will save my season's greetings other than to say happy early Hanukkah as well. But hope everyone is staying well and healthy and doing the best that they can. And that, we all come out of this better and stronger.
Thank you, Councilmember Lau. Mr. Russi, you were going to say something when Councilmember Carter was talking about Mr. Aguirre, I think.
I was just going to say that we will also be recognizing him at our next council meeting as well. So if you don't get an opportunity before then, council will get their opportunity then.
Very good.
Celebrate his retirement.
Thank you for all your comments. Yeah, this next shutdown with our state from our governor is rough, beyond rough for some of our businesses. And I just want to say to everyone out there that the council, the city, we're all working diligently with our county supervisors to get this quickly through these 3 weeks, or hopefully 3 weeks, and work with them to get our city back opened again. This is devastating for many, and it's not pleasant. Again, and just to echo reach out to your friends and neighbors, drop a meal off, send a pizza, deliver a pizza. You don't even have to touch it. They'll deliver it, drop it off at the door. Anonymous. This is the time of year to be thankful and to be appreciative of those, and reach out to the ones that you haven't seen or talked to in a while. But again, also, we have some things going on in the city. We have the Winter Wonderland is full. It was so successful that it was full within a short period of time. Mr. Russi, how many people? I know there's a waiting list.
It's in the 300 cars. I don't know exactly how many people per car, but it's well over 600 total people that will be enjoying that day.
Wonderful. And then also we have also on the 21st through the 23rd at the city parking lot, you can pick up your bags of candy that we normally distribute through our Christmas Day, but between being COVID friendly and COVID compliant, I won't use friendly, I'll use compliant, that we are basically, you can pick those up. And what are the hours? 8 to 4, Mr. Russi, sorry.
Yeah, generally during City Hall hours, we will be available for them to come to City Hall.
Okay, and then also the next thing is Santa Claus will be going through the neighborhoods, and that will start at 7 o'clock. We'll have 6 troops. We'll either have modified Jeeps, we'll have sleighs, we'll have fire trucks, whatever, with Santa Claus. So our traditions will continue. So to all let you know that we are continuing our history of what we do here, and thank you for everyone that's involved with that. And then again, everybody be safe and just enjoy each other right now, even limited version. So anyway, thank you all. Councilmember Carter, I'm going to do an adjournment, but the untimely passing of Brian McNerney, I think you wanted to maybe say something before I did our adjournment in memory of Mr. McNerney.
I would, thank you. Brian McNerney passed away, and it has left a void in our city. He was such a part of Laverne, and he was a hero to this city. Everyone looked up to Brian. He had so many friends. That man did not have a mean bone in his body. He loved everyone, and he loved this city. It took me many, many years to realize he didn't even live in Laverne. He lived in San Dimas, but his heart was in every city that he went into. This man, when he retired from being our chamber director, he still volunteered in our community. He was at every event. He supported our veterans. He supported flag raisings and going with the motorcycle group to homes to make sure that the veterans had a flag in their yard. The one area that we're going to feel the biggest loss is our 4th of July committee. This gentleman volunteered to secure sponsorships for the 4th of July, parade and also the fireworks show. So from the bottom of my heart to his family and to especially little Brian, his grandson, who he loved dearly, I send my sincere sympathy to all of you. And Laverne feels the loss, know that, and that we loved him dearly.
Thank you, Councilmember Carter. We will be adjourning in memory of Brian McNerney, past CEO of the Laverne Chamber of Commerce and the community's unofficial Mr. Laverne. Passed away peacefully in his sleep on Thanksgiving morning. He was born 76 years ago in Staten Island, New York, and raised in the Queens. Brian's parents stressed service to humanity and building positive relationships as a way of life for young Brian and his sister Maureen. He graduated from Archbishop Motley High School and completing a bachelor's degree at St. Francis University. He started his first career as a teacher. He later entered the corporate sales market, and he was a natural-born salesman, quickly rising to the ranks of vice president of sales and marketing. He stayed in marketing for 3 decades and later joined the communications field as a Tidbits publications manager, where he discovered Chamber of Commerce work when Tibbets paid for his membership to join the San Dimas Chamber of Commerce. Brian threw himself wholeheartedly into business community. He won the Chamber's Ambassador of the Month 6 consecutive times in 2006 and was then named Ambassador of the Year. He also volunteered for Laverne programs. In September 2006, he was named Executive Director of the then troubled Laverne Chamber of Commerce. Brian helped bring business, community, school, and municipal leaders and volunteers together through the projects he either initiated or the Chamber partnered with others to stage, such as local teachers awards, expansion of Taste of Laverne, the Wine Walk, participation in ULV student outreach and summer programs, support for Laverne Fire Department's Spark of Love toy collection, Shop Laverne promotion campaign, and many, many more. He is survived by his wife of 50 years, Carol Ann, his daughter, Leanne Sheridan, son-in-law, Matthew Sheridan, and grandson, namesake, Brian Edward Little B. Sheridan. Brian was a strong proponent of the give back philosophy, and his gregarious personality, willingness to jump in and help whenever necessary. Positive attitude and high regard for others made him a highly effective chamber executive director. Brian, you will be sorely missed. And to your family, our hearts and prayers go out to you. We will adjourn. Our next regular scheduled meeting is for Monday, December 21st at 6:30 p.m. Thank you all for attending.